Hey, it's Sasha Evdokov, and thanks for joining me on Backstage Income, where I show you how to make money behind the scenes in your business. So in this week's episode, what I'd like to do is share with you how to write your book super fast. And you've probably seen a lot of those different videos or articles on how to write your book in just 10 days, or how to write your book in less than 30 days, or how to write your book in 24 hours. Well, the fact is that first we need to really define what the term write really means. Now, to me, the term write means to take what's inside your mind, whatever is inputted in your head, and output it on paper. Now, these days we have digital computers, so it would be to take what's inside your mind and put it on the computer. That way you can make edits to it, make adjustments to it, add pictures, style it, and start uploading it to all the different publishers. But really, it's about taking that idea in your mind, whatever's in your head, and putting it down on a digital format that can be used and spread around. So if we define what writing is, to me, this is what I'm referring to. And this is what I think people are referring to when they're talking about how to write your book really fast. If we're talking about how to complete your book from step one to the end really quickly, that would be a whole different video. But if we're talking just about the writing process, it's about taking that idea in your mind and putting it down in a digital format. Now, I'm not a world record holder in terms of publishing books, but you could say I've written a handful of books. All of these have been written in just a couple of years. So I would say I know a few different things about book productivity and getting what's in your mind down on paper. Now, not all of these books are New York Times bestseller books, but they do connect to people in my niche and in the category where these books are published, and they do bring in great quality customers. All right, so let's cut to the chase. How is it that we go from what's in our mind to putting something down on paper as quickly as possible? Well, I've done this over dozens of books and figured out what works for me. What works for me might not necessarily work the best for you, but maybe it'll give you some ideas, tips, and insight. So one of the best ways to figure out what's really working and how to speed up that process, especially if you're planning to write a lot of books like I did, because I enjoy sharing the information and I feel that a little piece of me or part of me will continue to live on forever as I touch new readers of my books. So if you're looking to write a lot of different books, you might really want to make sure that you're able to take that concept and idea and put it on paper. So how is it that you really do that? How do you do it very quickly? Well, take a look at yourself writing your first book, or taking it from what's in your mind and putting it on paper. Once you start looking at yourself from an outer perspective, you really get to see where those bottlenecks are. And one of the best ways to do that is to film yourself. So if you're working at a computer, or if you're just doing screenshots or screen sharing, something like that, record your screen or record yourself from the other side of the room to see exactly what is it that you're doing with your time. This process is similar to figuring out how the manufacturing operations work most efficiently. So you're trying to figure out where the bottlenecks are in your machine internally. Now, for me, one of those was really to go ahead and get that stuff, whatever's in my mind, on paper. So I found that over the years, if you actually handwrite something, you're writing at about an average of 30 words per minute. If we move to typing and you're typing something, so typically the average typing speed is 45 to 65 words per minute. Now, if you're Barbara Blackburn, one of the fastest typers out there, you might be able to type 170 words a minute for 50 minutes straight. However, I find that if I'm just typing a lot, the ideas don't always roll as I'm typing, because sometimes I have to go back and make the corrections. However, if you're speaking your book, typical human speech is at around 150 to 175 words per minute. Now, if you're an auctioneer, you might be in the 250 to 400 words per minute range. So I found that since one of the fastest ways to communicate or get data out from what's in your mind is to actually speak it. And these days we have some great tools and utilities to really take what's coming out of your mouth and put it on paper. So for me, what I do is I use dictation software, and the software that I use is Dragon Naturally Speaking. And what you can do is you can train your voice to really hone in and get very accurate results. Now, there's a lot of other software programs out there that you can use, but basically you just need some piece of software and a microphone, and that way you're able to get what's coming out of your mouth down in a digital format. Now, if you don't have the software, you don't have the money to spend for software, or you just don't feel like getting it, what you could do is actually use your smartphone, and similar to how they have the text-to-speech format, what you can do is constantly write emails to yourself, send it, and that way you start creating and composing your book. And in fact, when I'm on vacation, sometimes I'll go ahead and do that, and I'll actually speak into the phone and send emails to myself. That way, I'm collecting more and more data for my next future book. Now, the microphone that you use is totally up to you, so long as that it's picking up a nice clear sound. Now, we use the Heil PR40 because it's a podcasting microphone. You just get really crisp audio. But I've also used the Blue Yeti, and we still have and use that microphone on vacation from time to time. Or like I said, you could just simply use your phone. Now, one piece of advice or tip when you're actually dictating and speaking your book. Now, you want to make sure that you, number one, have all the components or pieces laid out that you actually want to speak about. I find that this helps the process in the flow. As you're speaking, it helps you go from one point to the next point to the next point. Now, if you need a little bit more guidance, you could add in more bullet points within each segment. But if you have those chapters pre-planned, then this will help flow your speech a lot better. And the second tip is not to go back and make changes as you're speaking and dictating your book. I found that the first few books that I wrote, in fact, using dictation software, I found that I wanted to go back and make corrections. The point of those corrections was really to edit and fine-tune my book, but the editing process is still going to happen. So I would find myself going back again during the editing process and changing things around anyway. Remember, if you really want to speed up your process, if you want to really speed up your book, the first part of writing is really to write. So you need to write what's in your mind and get it out on paper. And then later you can make changes, compositions, but taking those ideas and putting them down is really time consuming. And if you spend your time editing, making little tweaks, adding little commas as you're speaking, you'll find yourself doing a lot more editing than actually writing through that dictation process. So yes, my first draft has a lot of issues and problems. I'll have grammatical errors, I'll even have word accuracy problems, and some words get messed up in translation. For example, the word for. I could mean the word number 4 or FOR, and sometimes dictation software doesn't pick that up. So there's a lot of problems in that first draft, but I don't stress about them. I continue speaking and dictating, and that's that first initial goal, because I'm going to go back and make changes later anyways. I'm going to have to go back and edit the book anyways. Now, the first 1, 2, 3, 4 drafts, depending on how busy the book is, I'll still go back and double check myself because I know there's going to be a lot of issues. I may rearrange concepts and rearrange chapters. But after that, I may go ahead and pass it off to someone who's a lot better at editing than me, someone that can help me really make my book a lot more cleaner and better for the readers. But initially, your goal when you're writing and getting the idea out of your mind onto that digital format is to write. So hopefully I shed some light into your book writing process to really speed things up and get things moving so that way you can complete your book quicker or save yourself some time and go enjoy other things that you might like to do better. So if you really want to get your book out faster and just take it to completion that much quicker, then I highly recommend that you follow some of the tips in the video. Thanks again for joining me. I hope you really enjoyed this video. And if you're watching this video and watching these lessons on BackstageIncome.com, then good job, because there's plenty of other lessons out there, free trainings and free courses. So go ahead, continue and watch those videos. But if you're watching this on YouTube, then you might be missing out. So go ahead, click this link right up here. And when you get there, you can enter your name and email address, and that way you'll get some additional free training, or just browse the website and take a look at some of the free mini courses that we have available. But if you want to stick around on YouTube, then just click one of the thumbnails below this video and we'll continue watching other great business and income training videos. Thanks again for joining me. I'm Sasha Evdokov, and remember to do what you love, contribute to others, but most importantly, live life abundantly, and I'll see you next time.